Nobody wins when the family feels.
Let kids around me, other people, kids around me, because the way I am. See me, I like to be naked. Let me tell you a little son about Nature Boy. See me, I'm a real human. See my kids, when I see my son, this is how I treat my son. We naked together.
And what I realize is that we're not humans. We're not humans at all. We're an infestation. That's what we are. We're an infected. Hold on. We're an infection in the body, in our own bodies. That's what the earth realm is. Life. We are inside of our own bodies.
So I'm gonna go back there for now until I get things straightened out. And it's like, I came here to be free, and the beings that one didn't want any contact with, I didn't want any contact with them anymore. Like, they are still being possessive over me. Like,
So why did you leave in the first place?
We can't own.
Why did you leave? Why don't you tell them why you left in the first place? Did I call you like, hey, come join us, be here with us? Am I controlling or manipulating your mind?
For my birth certificate, my social, my bank cards, everything, you name it, medical documentations.
She says Bishop, the leader of the so-called cult Carbon Nation, went from spoiling her to abusing her when she got pregnant.
If you do, come on up to the podium. And we'll swear you in.
You want to test the about the children?
For sure. At all times.
All right, what is it you'd like me to consider?
I just want to say something to all of them.
Well,
I just want to say.
Just direct it to me, please, not to.
I'll direct it to you. I'll direct it to you.
Okay.
Are you happy? Are you happy?
I'm not answering any questions of yours, Mr.
I forgive you. I forgive you, and I still love you. I forgive you, and I still love you.
Man, my bad for the long intro. But we're not just talking about one incident. We're about to talk about a decade plus worth of information in less than 30 minutes. So let's start this video off by going over some definitions. What is a cult? A system of religious veneration and devotion directed towards a particular figure or object. A relatively small group of people having religious beliefs or practices regarded by others as strange or sinister. So the next question we will ask, what are 4 signs of a cult? I was able to get 4 basic characteristics of a cult. Charismatic leaders, illegal and dangerous behaviors, unquestioning faith, isolation, and abuse of members.
Don't let kids around me, other people, kids around me, because the way I am. See me, I like to be naked. Let me tell you a little son about Nature Boy. See me, I'm a real human. See my kids, when I see my son, this is how I treat my son. We naked together. My son started being ashamed of his body. And I seen it happen. I didn't want that to happen. They made him ashamed of his body. They showed him that he was naked. I did not want him to know he was naked. I said, son, look here. I didn't even want him to be in a world where he knew he was naked. I wanted my son to be so pure that he never knew he was naked. I take bath with my kids. I'm naked with my kids. I have sex in front of my kids. I never be ashamed of sex. My son be breastfeeding and I'll be making love to his mama. That's me, bruh. That's how I get down around kids. I try to keep their purity. I don't want to take their purity away by covering myself up. They're going to be ashamed and cover themselves up. And I'm pure at heart. So you can think in your mind, if I let another kid here, I'm going to have to change the way I am so that your kid could be comfortable around me. No, I'm going to be naked in front of your kids. My son comes up and grabs my pee. I let him grab my pee. I had sex with his mom. I'm making love to his mother. After I'm done, I'm laying there chilling. He grabbed my pee and he's playing with my pee. I let that happen. I say, yeah, look, you got one too. And he laughing and the moment is over. It's pure. And if I do that with somebody else's kids and you see how people turned on me over here, you see how people turn on me? bro, I'm real human, bro. Yeah, that's real. That's how I'm with my son. My son try to be, oh, daddy, don't cover up nothing, son. We naked in front of each other. We not naked. This our clothes. Talking about. My son play with my peep. He like, I say, yeah, you got one too. They kids, they want to know. I don't want to hide them. I make love right in front of them. I make love to their mama right in front of them. Like a real man. That's how I get down, homie.
Today, we talk about a man who, according to the state of Georgia, labeled as a cult leader. Today, we see where he's from. Who is this man? His beliefs? How he got sentenced to life in prison. Check out statements from his alleged accusers / victims. And also, send love and prayers they way. And here's recent antics and statement after he was sentenced in DeKalb County. So before we go over this one, remember, I don't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll jump right to it. Born April 29th, 1982, was Elijah Lee Bishop, aka Nature Boy. Born in Harlem, but he grew up in the Bronx. His mother had him in her 30s. His dad was in his late 70s. Nature Boy, by his own words, was considered a baby. His mom died shortly after she gave birth to her son on an overdose. His dad passed away in his sleep from a heart condition. He was put into foster care at an early age. He grew up with no real family structure. There was no biological family to create a bond with. Since 6 years old, he grew up on the 300 Morris Ave in the Bronx, New York. He got adopted by a family by the age of 12 from New Jersey. They was labeled the Bishop. Nature Boy once told his audience they was abusive. He was split from his brother at 6 as well after they had many fist fights. He mentioned he was abused a lot. He had urges at a very early age. One time, the quote-unquote bishop who adopted him had saw him doing the hunch on another student. He eventually, according to his own account, made him do the same in front of him.
And anyway, fast forward, and well, let me tell you about one of the experiences I had when I was split up by my brother when I was about 6 years old. In Queens, I could remember a guy named Mr. Pope. I remember forget Mr. Pope. But I was always when I say I was a horny child, like I was humping on things, and I had sexual urges very young in age. I've had sexual urges. I was humping on like anything I could find. Like I remember looking at The Simpsons and getting horny over The Simpsons. Like I was horny over Marge and looking at Lisa and shit. And I would hump on things, whether it was another kid. It didn't matter if it was a boy or girl. And I was staying in this family. This is when my sexuality started to kick in, because I was staying in Queens. Me and my brother got separated because we was like fighting each other all the time. And when I was a little kid, it was very confusing for me growing up, not understanding things, because I just logged in. I was just responding to what I was feeling and things going on. So as a child, uneducated about my sexuality, I pretty much, was humping on the other kids in the foster home, just to get my rocks off or just to feel something, you know what I'm saying? And he caught me one day, Mr. Pope, the dude I got separated from my foster father. He caught me, and basically the dude just made me do sexual acts with another boy that I was already humping on anyway. And so he made me he took a picture. He said, my mom took a picture. He said, if you do anything, if you say anything about this, I'm pretty much going to tell the social worker. And I don't know, as a kid, I thought something was bad I did, and so I was really scared.
Now, those issues didn't get resolved, as well as punishment, at least for the bishop. So Nature Boy took those habits and made his own world with his own society, and created rules based on his life experience, the Carbon Nation.
Yes, I have to be with somebody on my frequency, on my level of understanding. You understand? She ain't got to be as logical as me, but she have to be understanding. She don't have to be as articulate as me, but she has to be understanding. I am the male. The male aspect is the masculine aspect. That aspect alone is for logic and to keep structure and order. That's fine. The feminine aspect of it is to bring in to have the most. That's the intelligence. That's the true intelligence, the intuition. You understand? So the beings around me, or the being that's with me, she needs to be in tune, man. Nature. And I basically with my life, I set out to pretty much
set an example and live the example and be the example of how we should live. And what I realized is that we're not humans. We're not humans at all. We're an infestation. That's what we are. We're an infected. Hold on. We're an infection in the body, in our own bodies. That's what the earth realm is. Life. We are inside of our own bodies.
Nature Boy.
Each individual holographically. Go ahead.
Back when the pandemic first started in 2020, Nature Boy, Elijah Bishop, was among 21 arrested in Hawaii. He was an accused cult leader, as we mentioned, including R in DeKalb County. He wouldn't have trial until 2024. Now 40 years old, Elijah Bishop, aka Nature Boy, the leader of Carbonation, also claiming to be a god. A former member has said he her, posted nude photos of her online in revenge after she left, according to the attorney's office.
Velvet Marquez tells me Elijah Bishop forced her to marry him. Why? She says that he'd tell her that she'd then be forced to bail him out of jail if anything were to happen to him. And of course, today, something quite opposite is happening. She's telling us her side of the story.
I feel that now looking back, I feel that I fell in love with an idea because he pretended to be someone that he wasn't.
Behind this smiling face, Velvet Marquez faced her hardest years next to Elijah Bishop.
He literally held me hostage. He took all of my identification, my passport, my birth certificate, my social, my bank cards, everything, you name it, medical documentations.
She says Bishop, the leader of the so-called cult Carbonation, went from spoiling her to abusing her when she got pregnant.
I was forced to engage in sexual activity that I did not want to do. I was still strangled on multiple occasions. So I had to willingly engage in these sexual activities because of to keep myself safe. He would abuse me in front of the women.
She had their daughter in 2019, and a year and a half later, she says he forced her to legally marry him in a Las Vegas chapel.
There was no medical attention given to us. So when I actually went into labor, I had to be rushed to the hospital 2 hours away.
For years, the cult would drive and settle across Central America. Velvet says Bishop lived off of other members' PPP loans and life savings. She gave him her $3,000 college fund, while others gave tens of thousands of dollars. And after 4 tries, she successfully ran away with their daughter with no money but hope.
My child is important. I don't understand how anybody could leave their child to be with him or to go live with him.
Now, Velvet tells me she has since received death threats from Elijah and that he even showed up to her family's home in Louisiana just months after she ran away. Jennifer?
Paula, do we know, did she ever try reaching out to law enforcement?
She tells me she did, but it was very hard to track him down because he moves so often running away from law enforcement. But of course, now he is behind bars. Now, we also did speak to a former cult member, and we have her side of the story as well on 11alive.com. Jennifer.
Now, it seemed everywhere Carbonation had went when they was out, they was kicked out, including Hawaii, Costa Rica, and Panama. After managing to make bail, one victim on the stand during trial said her and about 20 other followers had moved into a Decatur home in 2020. She left several times but came back, leaving for good when the R happened in March of 2022. One current member argued they weren't mistreated. One was removed from the courtroom after he kept interrupting the courtroom by yelling in defense of the bishop.
Did Mr. Bishop have different characters that he would do for the production?
Yes, he did.
Can you tell us some of the characters he would do?
Mr. Bishop, Dr. Bishop was like a psychologist character that he would play to help some of the members go through anything that they were going through. He had Uncle Fernando.
What was Uncle Fernando?
It was just like a comedian.
Okay.
Just,
Okay. Anyone else that you saw him act as?
3 Guys.
Okay, what was that?
Well, that was just a character. If you look at the spiritual meaning of 3, it's the perfect number. It means knowledge, wisdom, being in harmony with the universe. So that was a character that he played, and we all agreed to push that character to the public.
Has you ever witnessed any acts of violence between Mr. Bishop and women in the group?
No, sir.
Have you ever seen him punch or hit or kick somebody?
No, sir.
How about surround them and body slam them or anything like that?
No, sir.
Has you ever seen him commit any physical acts of violence against?
No, sir.
Has you ever seen her with any bruises or anything like that that Mr. Bishop would have placed on her?
No, sir.
What about women? Did you see or hear Mr. Bishop direct women to hit other women on his back?
Not that I seen, sir.
The trial ran into a few other hiccups. The judge ended up testing positive for COVID-19. They delayed the trial by a day and a half, fearing exposure. Bishop didn't want to be in the courtroom, and he wanted to fire his attorney. He ended up attending via Zoom. Now I'm going to let you guys hear that clip. But he was furious about the judge not delaying the trial. So he went to Instagram the day before and said this.
So yeah, y'all. The judge caught COVID. She tested positive for COVID. They don't want you to know that. They're trying to hide that. The judge tested positive for COVID. Out of all the cheating they did in this case, the judge tested positive for COVID. They don't say that on the news. They just trying to protect her some kind of way so she won't be shown to have tested positive for COVID. Out of nowhere, you can cheat all you want with this man law, but at the end of the day, there's the laws of the universe. See, you're being corrupt, and it's the laws of the universe, and this is what happened. She tested positive for COVID. I tell my lawyer, this is when I know I'm getting railroaded, because I'm telling my lawyer, I'm saying, like, I don't want to go in there with her with COVID. They're already cheating on me. They're cheating in the case as it is. I don't want to go in there right now.
I don't know that the court can put him in a position where it's his health and his concern. He's wearing a mask today. He is a distance from the court, but we are all in the same courtroom. We're all breathing the same air. And so his concern is that his witness or one of his witnesses is unwilling to be able to come here to court to testify in the courtroom COVID, and then he's being compelled to go forward with a trial where he's entitled to be present physically in court. And be in a courtroom where a person is tested positive for COVID opposite of a white person, which is you. And so his position is that he's asking the court not to proceed until the court has tested negative or gone outside of the CDC guidelines.
Wearing a mask, I'm happy to wear a mask for the duration of the trial. Attorneys are ready to go forward, jurors are ready to go forward. Nobody, thankfully, has gotten sick. If, I was contagious on Monday when I didn't know I had it. So nobody's gotten it since then. I've been in close contact with my staff, closer contact with them than I am with you all. Luckily, none of them have it. We have an air purifier system going on, a machine going on in the courtroom. We're taking every possible precaution to keep people safe, including providing masks, allowing anybody who wants to wear a mask to wear one. Hand sanitizer, all of that. Hey, Mr. Bishop, I know you're doing everything you possibly can to try to get this case to go away, or at least get away from me. But that's not how it works. So, okay, we've got the feed going. So we.
Bishop has indicated that he did not make that statement on the jail. So I just want to make sure.
Okay. All right, it's interesting how he was able to post an Instagram live post from the jail, but somebody emailed my office that there was some post. I wouldn't don't talk about it, Mr. Bishop. It's not going to help you.
Now the trial continued. He ended up getting life plus 10 years in prison. Man, check out what he had to say before he was sentenced.
Bishop, do you want to be heard? Come on up to if you do, come on up to the podium. And we'll swear you in.
Raise your right hand.
You swear to test the testimony about the truth?
For sure. At all times.
All right, what is it you'd like me to consider?
I just want to say something to all of them.
Well,
I just want to say.
Just direct it to me, please, not to.
I'll direct it to you. I'll direct it to you.
Okay.
Are you happy? Are you happy?
I'm not answering any questions of yours, Mr.
I forgive you. I forgive you, and I still love you. I forgive you, and I still love you. I got nothing in my heart. I'm not mad at you. I'm not upset with you. I forgive you. I want you to know I still love you and forgive you. And kiss my baby girl and let her know I love her. And I love y'all. I would never, I don't have no, I promise you, you know how I am. In my heart, you know how I am. I still love you. I still love you. I still love you.
All right.
I still.
I got
And
that.
don't hate.
Okay.
Don't hate.
Is there anything
My
else?
heart light as a feather. I promise you I love you and I'm still here. I ain't miss one lick. I see what y'all doing and I want you to know I forgive you. And I'll see y'all in the end.
All right. Thank you.
I love you.
All right. I just muted the courtroom. We're done.
The judge said part of her decision on the life plus 10 years was him basically taunting his victims. It's a sad thing. We want to say we send 11 prayers to the victims. Fam, I want to know you guys' thoughts on this. This was the New York man who was abandoned his whole life, created his own society, and landed life plus 10 years in prison. Talk to me in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until then, I'll catch you guys on the next one.